Rebuilding a rust-proof Land Rover, Part 11. Some progress has been made. This series moves at a faster rate than usual as I condense some of the sequences to speed things up a bit. The transmission tunnel and floors are now in place. Today I fit the new aluminium instrument panel mounting and do quite a lot of painting using a paintbrush. The powder-coated transmission tunnel is all now in place. Far better than it was when I received it, as my late friend Ken had chopped up the original transmission tunnel, which was a pity really, as it was in better condition than this one. You can see the chopped up transmission tunnel in this clip. Here's the replacement transmission tunnel that I had powder coated. This is just after I made the hole for the overdrive. The two pieces on the right was what were left from the old transmission tunnel after Ken chopped it up. And now with the floors in place, it's starting to take shape. It looks a lot better than it did. Although I still don't like these seats. Maybe I can learn to live with them and they'll do for now. I've removed the metal plates from the bonnet because very shortly I'll be painting this bonnet and metal plates in this position would be in the way. Here's the other side. I've left the R-clips in place because they hold the bonnet down. Sat in the middle of the bonnet is the original instrument panel mounting. This is made from plastic and it was badly cracked and it needed replacing. The plastic over the years had become brittle. Watch this. The corner was cracked. I tried super glue, that didn't work. It's a very strange kind of plastic. I broke the part off just to illustrate how fragile this part is. There is only one place for this, and it's in the recycle bin. First of all, the broken piece of plastic from the corner, followed by the entire unit. I'm really glad to see the back of this. With the new part that I've just bought, I will be able to securely mount the instrument binnacle. This part I bought via eBay, and it's made from aluminium, which is far better than the brittle plastic of the old one. It's nicely made, nicely powder coated, and because it's aluminium, it should be completely rust-proof. I've bought a few of these. They're very useful for quite a lot of functions on a Land Rover. They're actually known as spire clips, even though it says U-clips on this box, and they're spring-loaded clips that are threaded and can be used to take self-tapping screws for holding parts together on a Land Rover. Far better than this. The instrument panel's been held in place by a spring balance for quite a while now, and it's not really satisfactory. There was another problem with the plastic instrument panel support. Two lugs had broken off. The two holes are still okay in the actual binnacle itself, and I intend to use a couple of these, which should permanently hold the instrument panel to the instrument panel support. There is another part that fits at the bottom of this support. You can see it on the extreme right of this image. And next to this part is the escutcheon plate, which holds the rubber gaiter in place where the handbrake fits. I filmed this when I was putting the floors in place. I'm using this stuff called copper slip, which is a copper grease on parts that go underneath the floor. How is the outside progressing? Well, very slowly. I haven't done much at all. When I removed the sticker and also some paint, I sprayed this part with etch primer. There's a small amount of corrosion on the rear wing that needs sorting out. It's near the bottom at the front, and it's not really a problem, a very simple fix. The doors are in very bad condition. I'm actually going to buy a pair of new ones. I've really made this look simple, but believe me, fitting the instrument panel mounting was really difficult. It's actually fixed to the long panel that runs the full length of the dashboard. This took some effort. It was quite difficult to do. Now for something completely different and much simpler. I've painted the inside of the dashboard using some smooth right paint. And to hold the loom clear of the paint, I use this small bungee cord, which I do seem to use for quite a lot of jobs. I bought a part to go in this position from eBay, and it hasn't arrived yet. Allegedly it should arrive today. We shall see. And now it's back into the house for a top tip time. If you've been following this series, you will know that this is the end of the bottom part of the dashboard. And what I'm doing is heating up the vinyl so it bends round the corners. The sealing iron will melt the vinyl, so to just make sure it doesn't, put a cloth in place. Otherwise you will end up with a lot of melted vinyl on the sealing iron itself. This sealing iron over the years has done an awful lot of work. It's been very good. I used to use an excellent material called Solatex for covering model aircraft and wing panels, etc. I'm going to show you something now that you need to be very careful with. The vinyl had gone a bit baggy and wasn't in full contact with the polyurethane foam underneath it. So this is what I did. Heating the vinyl through the cloth with the sealing iron and then rubbing the cloth on the vinyl made it stick back to the polyurethane foam inside. The final job was to apply some of this. It's called Back to Black and it's really good stuff. You don't need to use hardly any at all. You rub it onto the part and then buff it up with a cloth and it makes things shine like this. So this is not too bad. It's not perfect. I don't want any part of this Land Rover to be perfect and I don't want it to look like a new one. After the stress of fitting the instrument panel, I thought I would paint the front. For this I used some Hammerite Smoothite, and I must mention there's a technique in using this stuff. You have to apply quite a lot, but not so much that it runs. It's best to practice on a piece of scrap metal first. It's really good stuff if you know how to use it. When I painted the bumpers, the bull bar looked terrible, because originally it was galvanized and powder coated, and some of the powder coating had come off round the bottom and it needed some attention, so I painted that with Smoothite as well. Parts of this Land Rover are starting to look a whole lot better, but there's still quite a way to go. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.